touched anything. All right. Happy Friday. Welcome to round 2 of Contramundum. August 15th, we are discussing the rest of chapter 2, Against Theology, of Peter Leithart's book, Against Christianity. So welcome.
What's it about? You got to tell them what it's about.
We're going to talk about it. What is it about?
What is it about?
We're going to talk about it.
Well, it's, the title is Mythos.
I haven't read it yet. Play the intro.
The American Revolution, in other words, is never finished. It must always be renewed.
Greater love than this hath no man, than that he lay down his life for his friend.
What if it's not envy?
We must take back our cities, and take back our culture, and take back our country. God bless you, and God bless America.
Back on.
We're back. Audio.
All right. Do we have audio? I hope we have audio. We have audio?
We have audio.
All right. It's working.
The chat has confirmed we have audio.
I can't see the chat.
We have
Where's
about 10 minutes and then I have to bounce.
Yeah, no. It's like 9,000 degrees in here. You can see how, look how, this is the thing about Tennessee. They don't tell you.
No.
It's hot down here.
We have AC.
Barely.
You were stressed trying to get the audio.
Yeah, I know, man. Come on, Gary. We need the comments. There we go.
Gary, by the way, is gone. He's gone.
We've replaced Gary with a better version.
Temporary Gary in here.
All right. Now we're back. Now we're ready to roll.
And,
all right. So what's the book about, huh?
Well, let's find out. We
didn't talk about, we should talk about all the news. What's in the news? What's been going on?
I haven't been paying attention.
I haven't really either. I mean, I guess are Trump and Putin meeting in Alaska? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know either.
I have a hard time caring.
I mean, obviously I care about that war ending. I don't want people dying anymore. But I mean, it would end. Careful.
Anything happen this week?
It would end if we just said it's over. Like would end. But anything else? Today is apparently Indian Independence Day. Did you see the video of someone putting a flag up, an Indian flag in Columbus, Ohio? Replacing the American flag with
another
an Indian flag?
Conspiracy theory is true.
All of them are true. Yeah,
all true. The ADL added America First to its list of concern phrases.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah. Oh,
we can't say that anymore?
No, you're gonna get hit by the ADL.
Why would that be considered anti? Those people, right? Caring about America first.
Well, that's
doesn't it implies that, well, then it's not Israel 1st. Mm-hmm. Is that the point? Whoa. What
was that?
Let's turn the volume off on there, huh? On the computer, Gary. I know it's pressing button. Just press the volume. There's a mute button there. Just press on the computer. Mute button.
Oh, I can do that from here.
No, I'm on the computer. We need it on the computer. Yeah, on the computer. Okay. Don't worry about it. You got it. Okay. Unless it happens again, then we got to figure it out. Okay. So, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy that they think that that's an anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Caring about America first. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So,
wow.
Here we go. I'm going to have to break these rules right now. Boom.
What rules? Oh, man. Oh, now we're going to jail.
We've been demonetized.
We're going to jail because we care about our country more than other countries. Like I saw a good, a good post because apparently some of the debate online is about like people charging their adult children rent. Which it's like, okay, I mean, if you charge your kid like a minimal, like $100 a month or something. That whatever.
Pitch in for groceries, whatever.
Yeah. But like the correlation between people that would charge like full rent, like what you would pay some random person to live in your house, like charge your kid that. But then like the Venn diagram of people who do that, but also say, especially like Christians that would do that, but then say, oh, we need to have infinity immigrants come here, and America's just an idea. It's like a circle, right? Like it just demonstrates a complete and total rejection of the Ordo Amoris. That who cares about my kids getting it? These people are trying to come here for a better life, but who cares if my kids get a better life? Like that's I thought that was
what's happening?
Really interesting thing. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Trump is trying to like take DC.
Oh yeah,
basically.
that happened. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And I wonder
no,
what
he
the-
did. He did. Like,
yeah, and
he made crime illegal in Washington
Yeah.
D.C. Can you believe that?
I know
He made crime illegal.
fascism is when you make crime illegal.
Oh man, like total authoritarianism. Like he's a dictator because he made crime illegal. Now criminals have to go to jail instead of getting
The theory is
to do crime.
this could be cope, but the theory is this is totally cope. Just saying it makes it sound like cope. That there's
Cope away, my friend.
that they're going to subpoena like high DNC people and like Obama people because of everything, and so they're just getting ready for potential chaos kind of stuff. I don't know.
It's plausible.
It's plausible.
Plausible. It's plausible,
My
man.
sources are telling me.
I
arrested
mean,
next
maybe,
to
yeah.
Putin.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
I mean, it does sound very Q-ish.
Mhm,
Be like Patriots in control, man.
Yeah.
They're locking down DC because big stuff's happening.
yeah, and then there's like viral videos of the tanks on the
Yeah, that's right. That's
on the
right.
train track.
Yeah, all AI. There's a question from David Paulson. He's asking about local stuff, construction,
Let's answer this.
on Ridge Runner. Let's
Yeah, well, we started talking about Ridge Runner on our failed,
yeah. Nobody can
First
hear
one.
us apparently.
but things are very exciting here.
Yeah.
And, man, I
Another
mean,
week,
we're in a position where
another
I
hit
I
piece
can't even
by-
hint at stuff.
by journalists.
But like things are the energy is high. I'll say that. That's all I can say. Construction, how's construction going? The funny thing is there's a lot of different moving parts, a lot of different people involved. So my personal construction is exciting. It's
it's
cool
happening for you,
It's
but
happening for me.
it takes longer for a development to get everything in order to be able to build.
But the sales were
but it's
great.
it's close.
Sales were great. And then they
Yeah.
have to do all the infrastructure and stuff before people can actually build.
Yeah, like you
Right.
need, if you want to build, you need power out there
Mm-hmm.
and water and things like that. And so that's getting closer. And I
we,
think
we were out there this morning.
we were. I was sweating
Because-
way more than I am right now.
Yeah, because we have some guys in our church that are like, we're gonna do this with shovels.
Yeah.
So we out there and
I mean,
Andrew is
we
like-
won't name any. We won't dox
we
them
don't
or
we don't
name
need
any
to dox
names.
anybody, but
But
you mentioned a very bad word and he got mad at you.
he did get
And,
mad at me.
and
I
the
was like,
word was skid steer.
I was like, we just need to get a skid steer here, man. It was go so much faster. And he's like, what did you say? No, no, we're doing this by hand. And
But it was
like
fun.
the pioneers.
was fun.
And
it was
it's fun.
it's pretty out there
Uh,
in the morning with like it's all misty.
Yeah, in the morning in the sun, like that's the cool thing. In the morning in the summer here, it's because it's humid and the temperature shift overnight. There's like fog and mist going through all the valleys and everything. The sun peaks up over through the fog, and it's gorgeous.
Mhm.
It's like, man, I cannot wait to be living out there and sipping my coffee instead of swinging a shovel around at 6 a.m. in the morning. But it's beautiful.
Mhm.
It's so great. I can't wait till there's happy little cows out in my front yard mooing away. And
You're gonna say happy little kids out there mooing.
well, my kids don't move very often. When they're mimicking a cow, but yeah, man, it's idyllic. It's beautiful. So yeah, it's gonna be sweet when when the houses finally start going up. Probably, maybe even still this calendar year.
The
It might be the first. No, the church is probably still a year or two away, but houses.
houses.
Probably
Yeah.
by still this calendar year. I think the
Mhm.
first house will get constructed. So,
Mhm.
so like when that happens, then it's like, okay, now it's just not a piece of dirt that's pretty.
I got a shed built. Have you seen my
it's a-
shed? You should come see my
I haven't
shed.
I haven't been out to your place. I have not seen your shed. I'm sure your shed is
A
very
wonderful
nice.
shed.
I kind of want to build. I want to build a shed on my property before I build a house. But it's just a shed that'll, like, because I saw it at Lowe's.
Mhm.
A prefab or like a design.
Yeah.
I don't. Hopefully the chat doesn't hate me for saying I would use a Lowe's plan to build, but it's a nice shed because it's got like an awning that goes up, and then you have like a little bar there, and I could have I've got a kegerator, and it'd be the perfect place to put it. And then I could have all my friends over, and we'll eat bratwurst and sauerkraut and drink beer. I know it's not a very Tennessee thing to do, at all, but it would be like,
you want to come out to my shed?
you want to come into my, it would be like my shed,
drink at my shed.
drink moonshine in my shed. No, it's gonna be beer. I'm sorry, I can't handle the moonshine. It upsets my stomach. But
wait, really?
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
yeah. I don't. I mean, hopefully people here don't hate me for that. But yeah, man. But stuff's happening, and it's fun. Like, more and more families are moving out here in preparation to build homes, and it's great. It's like every family that comes, it's just another like shot in the arm. Like, oh yeah, people are coming. This is great. We're having so much fun.
We are having fun.
Yeah, it's a blast. And yeah, we just started, what we were talking about when we didn't have audio was our boys just started football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is exciting. That is very exciting because, yeah, your boys never, ever played football before.
Well, they're little.
Yeah, but like they don't even have it in California, is my understanding.
They don't have football in California.
It's illegal. Gavin Newsom banned it. Like you can only play football if you're like
FDR want to ban
you're only Teddy Roosevelt. You can only play football in California if you're trans. That was a Gavin Newsom law. So yeah, you know, so now they're allowed
you don't need to attack.
I mean, Minnesota's not much better, man.
California,
Minnesota's not much better. The Vikings,
legendary football history.
The Vikings have cheerleaders now from the longest
that
yard.
That is true.
Did you see that video?
Yes, that is true.
I'm so ashamed. It's so bad. I don't even want to go there. But our boys are playing football, and
they're having fun.
It's exciting. Yeah, your older boy is an animal.
Well, my younger boy's an animal, but my older boy is getting stronger, and
he's very strong. He's like one of the strongest kids out there.
Have you seen my younger son's practice yet?
No, I don't really watch the flag football kids.
You got to come watch the game because he's really funny.
Well, I
mean, you can picture him.
Oh, like yeah. I totally can. It was funny talking to his coaches. They're like, yeah, we have to have Billy Bob. That's not his real name. He's the only one that can snap the ball, which is really a shame because like he's good at everything.
It's funny because he's like the littlest one out there.
Yeah, but
the ball barely gets under his legs.
He's like a little Tasmanian devil out there. Whereas your older boy is just like country strong kid.
Yeah.
Like just and the only thing, like, it was funny, CJ went and asked the coaches yesterday, like, what does he need to work on? And my only thing is like he needs to get mean.
Mm-hmm.
He's not mean.
He's a nice kid.
He's too nice.
Yeah.
My son is not
football,
nice.
One of the reasons I like football is because
I need my son to tone it down a little.
We get to meet like the real parents in the area.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, because most people have this perception, they view everything through the Phil Williams reporting or whatever, right? But like when you go out there and you meet the parents and the dads, and their sons, like everyone's really normal and they treat us great.
Normal, friendly people. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they see our kids out there playing football, and because of us, they actually get a football team this year.
Yeah, we added. It isn't only because you're gonna like take credit for. Oh, it's because it's not just because us.
No, but it kind of is.
But it adds to the number.
Can you imagine if there's 3-4 less players?
Well, yeah, because like the last couple of years they weren't able to have a team because they're just. I mean, this is an issue in rural areas all over the country. Is kids are not going out for sports, especially for football. And I mean, some of it is maybe their moms are afraid they're going to get hurt and a bunch of concussions and things like that. And it's like, listen, the kids are not hitting hard enough to get concussions at Pee-wee age. I mean, maybe you could get anything can happen in any sport, but like, they're not going at each other 15 miles an hour head on. And it is, I mean, it's such a good thing for these little boys to like experience, because it's really hard. They've never done it before. And they haven't had a program for 3 years here. And so, you're
having a blast.
To be able to participate in that and be part of that is great. Play a small role in them being able to have it is awesome. I've always wanted my son to play football. And he always gets mad at me. He's like, Dad, you're making me play football. I don't want to play it. And then he gets out there and he loves it, that's a dad's role, is to make them do things they're going to love, but they don't want to do. And
It is hot in here.
yeah, I told you, man. But it is it's a blast. And for them to like get to know, because they're homeschooled, so they don't meet kids at school. So they get to meet other kids and make friends, and
Well, they have co-ops and stuff.
yeah, stuff like that. But I mean, kids from the area and everything,
yeah.
and like the boys that they're sweet kids. That is probably the biggest challenge with especially that age, is they're all really sweet, nice little boys, and none of them have that killer instinct. Like how do you get them to do that? Have that? Like you just grow into it, I guess. So we'll see the first game. Maybe they'll get it the first game. Maybe they'll get popped one time and like, okay, now it's go time. But really, really sweet kids, great families, and it's fun. It's fun to have them, make new friends. And so yeah, it's really a privilege to get to participate in a community thing like that, and be able to help out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's been a blast. So a lot of great stuff. And that's the thing, is like we had like football practice on Monday when Phil's little story came out, which was like boring. All of these are like really boring, right? He doesn't have anything better to do, I guess.
He only had 3 people on his town hall.
I know. It was like the community reacts strongly, and like they found 3. One of them was like the Tennessee Democrat Party treasurer, like paid opposite, like like the whole Democratic Party of Tennessee lives in that town, and like, oh, they're very bad people. They're so terrible. And like you found 3 of them, and one of them is like a member of the DNC. So like, way to go. You really riled up that community. But it's also fake and so dumb. And so, yeah, I mean, what was it like? We're at football practice, and we could not care less about what the TV, like we're doing real things. Right. We literally, quite literally, we're touching grass when the TV man did his TV things. And so it was just funny. Like I didn't even watch it because I'm like, oh, boring.
I didn't watch it. I read it.
Yeah, you read it. You were on the sideline,
Laughing.
Yeah, I came over like, what's going on, CJ? And he's like, man, Phil is he's flailing, man.
It's always a good time. All right, let's
actually get to the point of the discussion here today.
We're gonna finish up the chapter.
We're on number 17.
19.
19? Oh, 19. Yeah, 19. Never mind. 19. We did 17 already. All right.
You want me to start off?
Yes, I would like you to start off.
All right, let's get serious.
That's the most bants we've done ever in an episode.
People like the bants.
Some people hate it.
Oh, really?
Some people hate it. If you like the bants, like and subscribe, and sign up at supercast.com/contramundum.
We should do more bants. Like in general, we're always together. We should just
that's live. The thing. Like we get the bants done, hanging out all day, all week long,
I know.
We're always bantsing. And so we get on here. It's like all business. It's all business now. Time to, talk about real things. All right. So anyway, bants time over. Go ahead, CJ.
Right, the chat loves the bants. And still today, this is weird to jump right into it. And still today, what the world calls alternative lifestyle, the church is bound to name abomination. What the world calls pro-choice, the church must call murder. What the world calls the operations of the market, the church must sometimes label as oppression of the needy and grinding the faces of the poor.
Whoa, let's hold up there for a minute. You mean that, like, the free market is not
woke right here?
I know, man. Like, you mean to tell me that the free market is not infallible? The so-called free market,
and you're allowed to say that it's oppressing the needy.
Yeah.
That's usury. I'm thinking
usury too, man. Yeah. So you mean like 25% interest rates on check cashing for poor people is,
you pay student
not the
loans
market
for 20 years and you owe more than when you first started.
Yeah. Wait, that's the market, man. That's the market. You mean like shipping all of the jobs overseas and importing infinity immigrants to replace people's jobs. That's oppressive. Oh my goodness.
Sometimes the church must say that.
Oh,
all right.
The church definitely isn't saying, oh, whoa, what's going on with the camera? Let's straighten the camera out, Gary.
Toward me, right there.
Yeah,
Good.
there we go. Okay,
Right.
Go ahead, Mr. Engel.
We should not underestimate the significance of these conflicts over language, thinking they are merely symbolic. Symbols, and especially language, which is a system of signs and symbols, shape the way we respond to reality and help to form how we think and live. Calling a hurricane an act of God leads to a very different response than calling it dumb luck. Speaking of the world as a gift means that we greet everything in it with thanksgiving. Speaking of it as a machine leads to some to despair and others to begin snooping around to find the control.
You really didn't read this.
I really didn't. I'm hearing this for the first time. If she is to present herself as an alternative culture, the church must preserve, develop, and proclaim her own language. Properly, theology is the disciplined study and dissemination of the Christian speaking of reality. Today, the church faces a crisis of worldliness. Instead of calling things by their proper biblical names, we adopt the language of the world. When they treat issues of the soul, modern preachers employ the language of psychology, speaking in therapeutic terms and avoiding the severe mercy of words like sin and judgment, wrath, and repentance. When they speak of missions, advocates of church growth use language of marketing and consumption, and churches are encouraged to shape the gospel to make it more competitive in a climate in which the entertainment industry sets the cultural pace. Christian political writers claim that when Christians enter the public arena, they must adopt theologically neutral language like natural law and human rights, and never ever utter the name or office of King Jesus. All these are ways of adopting the language and culture of our adversaries, since there is no neutral language. Blame for this situation lies in the fact that the church lacks a mastery of her own language. Other languages have filled the vacuum, languages of therapy and marketing, languages of natural law and human rights. It would be bad enough if this failure were accidental, but it is not. Under the spell of Christianity, Christians self-consciously and deliberately adopt and cultivate alien tongues. Christianity insists that biblical language is a special language for Sunday, church, and private devotions, not a language that names the universe and what is beyond the universe, not a language for the market and town hall. This is funny because like that sentence, under the spell of Christianity, they basically adopt words like human rights, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a controversial theme in the dissident right put forth by people like BAP, where they say that Christianity, institutionalized Christianity, is basically a reinforcement mechanism of the world. And there's some overlap here, I think, with that theory.
Yeah.
That part of the purpose of regime evangelicalism is to sanctify the world's religions.
Yeah, and I mean his critique of Christianity is a Nietzschean one, right? And Nietzsche's critique of Christianity was in many ways similar to, not in every way, obviously, but in many ways similar to the critique that Leithart has of what he calls, Christianity in this book, right? That it is sort of this cope that the modern church makes in the face of modernity, that it adopts the worldly language like human rights and so forth. I mean, it's interesting also, as an aside, the way he uses natural law here, like natural law it actually really is a Christian concept, right? And so it's funny because our world here today rejects it completely, because natural law is I like referring to it as just created order.
Yeah, I do too. Under a Christian paradigm, that's what the natural is, the created order. Yeah,
that this is God's order. This is how God has arranged and constructed the universe. It constructed our reality that we inhabit, and therefore it is God's.
But natural law has been secularized.
Oh yes, yeah,
and that's his point.
That's what he means by that. It's not necessarily like, Thomas Aquinas is bad or something. And I mean, because he's earlier in the book, he's citing Aristotle positively in many places, which
I think earlier in Leithart's career, he may have been more harsh against that than he is now. just the roots of his thinking.
Well, yeah, I mean, he came out of
Vantillian
Van
circles.
Tillianism and
Yeah.
Reconstruction and so forth. But no, I think this point is important that I mean, I saw a post. I think it was Zero HP Lovecraft. Right, a lot of people love to hate him. I tend to like him. And he came to the defense actually of Christians and at least Christians like us, and saying that the fault line in Christianity today is between Galatians 3:28 Christians and Matthew 10:34 Christians. Right, you know those verses. I mean, you know Galatians 3:20, but Matthew 10:24 is, "I came not to bring peace, but a sword." Yeah. Like Christians that have a bit of vitality to them. And I think, you know, this book is kind of that fault, like showing those fault lines between, you know, worldly, you know, Humean rights of, you know, Galatians 3:28 type of Christianity, of being not just being a wholesome Chungus nice guy, versus like biblical Christianity, right? The Christianity that the reformers would have recognized, Christianity that Christians in the Middle Ages would have recognized, or the early church would have recognized, right? The kind of Russell Moore, David French, you know, Big Eva Christianity that exists today, they would not recognize at all. It would be a totally foreign thing to historical Christianity, right? That's the point. That's the point of you know, the new Christian right, or whatever you want to call it, is a recovery of historic Christianity in the face of this perverted form that exists today, that just says, no, you need to be nice. You don't have any enemies. There aren't any human enemies that you have, much less spiritual ones. And your job is just to be a pushover and let the, like, there was someone shared a video to me with me today of this, like, this LCMS bigwig saying that no Christian has a right to self-defense. Right? Did you see that? Yeah, like you don't have a right to self-defense. You know, if someone breaks into your home, you can't. I mean, you know, John Piper has done this too, but you don't have you should not use violence against them to protect your wife or your children or yourself. And it's like, that is evil to say those things, right? Just not even just wrong. Like, it's evil that someone would say that. And yeah, it is good that CJ put his shoes on. Just for you guys, he put shoes on. Unlike Vivek. Anyway, 20. I'll read 20. Yeah. In his 1989 novel, The Storyteller, Mario Vargas Llosa, Peruvian novelist and erstwhile presidential candidate, describes the, I'm going to butcher this, Machaguenga, a scattered and wandering Amazon tribe, whose clans are unified by the activities of the mysterious hablador or talker. Habladores exercise neither royal nor religious functions, yet are held in high respect by the Machaguenga and carefully protected from Western observation. As he moves from one sub-tribe to another, a hablador simply talks, bringing news from other groups within the tribe, and serving, in the words of one of Vargas Llosa's characters, as the memory of the community. While celebrating the uniqueness of the tribal cultures of the rainforests, Vargas Llosa is also presenting the Machaguenga as an every culture. Rainforest tribes are not unique in being bound together by common stories. In moral philosophy and ethics, theology and anthropology, story has become a central category of cultural analysis. Stories shape our sense of identity as individuals and communities. For individuals, this is not, as John Milbank points out, merely because we impose narrative structures on our lives after the fact, so as to force some semblance of order on an incoherent mass of detail. Rather, all of us are constantly living out what Milbank calls fictions. Alexander was surely an extreme example, but many readers of the Iliad had, actually be listeners, most of them just heard it, have envisioned themselves at one time or another as Achilles. Even true stories can function as fictions in this sense, giving us coordinates for our identity, inspiring us to action, and providing guidance for our future directions. And the stories that we tell as groups provide a fund of common memories which shape who we are together by reminding us who we have been together. Cultures are identified by their stories, and the church is a culture. It follows that the church, too, is defined by her story. But what is that story? Right? I mean, it is true. Like stories shape everything. Stories are what binds everyone together. And so for modern people,
there's a great a friend of mine on Facebook. He's a CRAC minister, and he had this post the other day that really got me thinking about this. He said that the pastor ought to explain the text from the narrative and not from the verse, and that very much encapsulates what's going on. And it's why you see, like, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but like Baptistic, like James White, he's like the perfect embodiment of this, where like everything has to be like, you have an entire theology based on like phrases, like you can
grammatical
down the grammatical structure like that. And that's Leithart's saying that that's not the way you're supposed to even understand theology. It's supposed to be a meta narrative.
Yeah. Like we've been going through at our church through Genesis. It's the right place to start, I think. And that is the point, is right. It's funny, like preaching on the Old Testament, because most of the Old Testament is narrative, is really, really hard for a lot of people. Like it's difficult, especially if you're like really steeped in the historical grammatical hermeneutic, where it's like, I got to parse this language.
If you're obsessed with systematic theology.
Yeah. I need to find out what this term means and how it's used grammatically. And that's how we get our theology, which, I mean, it's important to be able to do, especially in a Pauline epistle, right? To break down an argument and understand what is meant by certain things. But in terms of narrative, right, it doesn't operate that way, right? You look at Genesis 32, for example. That's what I'm preaching on Sunday. That's why it's in my head. When Jacob is at Peniel and wrestling with God, right? You don't like, what does that verb mean? Right? That's the key to unlocking the theology of this passage, is if we just understand this verb. Well, no, like the narrative is what tells you the theology of the passage, right? The narrative is driving home the point. And that's true. I mean, that's also true of the Gospels, right? It's the story that is what is teaching us. It isn't the particular necessarily, in at least in the meta level sense, the exact point, right? Isn't, is it this verb or that verb? That really matters. Now in a very precise argument, like in the book of Romans, for example, you do need to know those things. Absolutely. But even those are, I mean, he's expounding on narratives, right? Like Romans, he's drawing on the narrative of Jacob and Esau, and in Galatians, Isaac and Ishmael. And like, you don't understand that narrative, then you don't understand those books.
Well, yeah.
So like, anyway, story is what shapes the story, is what matters. And it is to the detriment of the church that people don't read the Bible that way or have it preached to them that way at all. It's as if these are just random fairy tales for them to, they're totally disconnected, and there's maybe some moralistic point you can make. Like that's how the Old Testament's preached, and it drives me insane. So anyway, that was a good, who was that? Who are you referencing? Or you want to name the person you were talking about?
Facebook? Buddy. I didn't want to.
Oh, you don't want to get him in trouble.
No, he probably wouldn't even hear about this. But nevertheless,
unless Phil talks about him.
Go ahead.
Anyway, no, but I mean, you see that like story shaping things. Like everyone in our generation believes they are in Star Wars or a Marvel movie or Harry Potter, right? And that you're a wizard, Harry. And they think they're the main character of one of these stories, and they're fighting this battle of good versus evil, when it's actually like you're probably on the side of evil and you don't know it. But that is what like shapes the entire culture, is those myths, right? Even though no one, I mean, apart from insane people, right? No one believes that Star Wars is real, right? But in this spiritual sense, in this mythological sense, it is real. In the same way that Alexander thought he was Achilles, right? Every millennial thinks he's Luke Skywalker, right? I was Han Solo, but anyway, go.
Why don't
Go.
you read 21?
Okay. Excuse me. One of the contributions of the 20th century Catholic Nouveau Theology. I don't speak French, so we had the French because we still haven't posted that yet.
It's Theology, right?
Theology. Any francophones in the chat, you can correct me.
Yeah, Gary said he was going to post it today, so we'll see.
Okay, we'll see what happens. The Catholic Nouveau Theology, Nouvelle.
Nouvel.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Theology. Sure. But,
Yeah,
who
whatever.
cares?
And of Henri de Lubac and Jean Denelou, in particular, was a rehabilitation of patristic and medieval typological exegesis of the Bible. Typological interpretation assumes that events and institutions of the Old Testament present, to use Augustine's terminology, latent pictures of Christ. Typological interpretation, in short, sees the whole Bible, as gospel, with the gospel narrowly conceived, the story of Jesus, as the culmination of a larger story. Of equal importance is the insight that the Christ, to whom the Old Testament testifies, is the totus Christus, head and body, Jesus and his church. In this, the fathers and medieval theologians were fully in line with Paul, who wrote that the history of Israel's wanderings in the wilderness were, quote, things written for our instruction, 1 Corinthians 10:11. The gospel is the story of the church as well as the story of Jesus. Following the apostolic example, the fathers saw the brides and harlots of the Old Testament history as the church under various guises, and thus they could view Old Testament history as the story of Yahweh's stormy betrothal of his headstrong bride, fulfilled now in the Father's arranged marriage of his Son to the Spirit-prepared church. Augustine made it a basic interpretive principle that the Psalms are now the words of the Savior, now the words of his people crying for salvation, now mystically both together. Psalms is the songbook of the whole Christ. In it, Jesus speaks of us, by us, in us, while we speak in him. At its best, then, typological interpretation is quite different from allegory. While Greek allegorists interpreted myths as embodiments of timeless and abstract principles, thus turning the Bible into theology, the fathers plundered the Old Testament to divine the patterns of history. When it has paid attention to the Old Testament at all, modern theology has approached in a very different manner. Rejecting typology as fanciful and unscientific, many theologians have treated the Old Testament as a purely historical document with little or no religious significance to the church, for the church. Others, no less hostile to typology, see the transition from old to new as a change from a historical, material, bodily, and social religion to a timeless, spiritual, and individual one, i.e. Christianity, right? What he calls Christianity. Opposition to typology not only fuels Christianity, but because of that, assists in the establishment of secular modernity. If the hermeneutical trajectory is from the Old Testament events to the motions of the individual soul, then, as de Lubac argued, Christ's coming has delivered the whole of public life over to the rough play of secular and impersonal forces. So Schleiermacher, the preacher of what Barth called consciousness theology, says that the Old Testament is to be utterly repudiated as part of the Christian Bible, and consistently also castigates those who wish to drag religion from the depths of the heart into the civil world, where presumably it can only be contaminated. A privatizing and spiritualizing hermeneutics thus helps outfit a public square that, if not entirely naked, wears a skimpy thing that scarcely covers what looks suspiciously like an iron cage. By emphasizing that the church is a real historical institution and communion was prophesied and typified under the old order, typology makes clear that it is of the essence of the church to occupy public terrain and to occupy it as a public community. And therefore, it is of the essence of the church to deny that public square is dressed in a flag and nothing but a flag. If the church is to recover the gospel, she must recover typological interpretation and learn to repeat, without irony or embarrassment, as a political credo, The words of Paul. Jerusalem above is free, and she is our mother.
You can push that.
Yeah, you could press that button, Gary. Okay, there we go. All right, so what do you think, CJ?
I love this quote here. Others, no less hostile typology, see the transition from old to new as a change from a historical, material, bodily, and social religion to a timeless, spiritual, and individual one. And like,
yeah,
if anything describes modernity, it's that.
yes, yes.
If anything describes 20th century regime evangelicalism,
it's that.
it is that. I mean,
Yeah,
the visible church is nothing. It doesn't really play a part. It's sort of a happenstance because we need each other in a weird, like, human way. But the real church is inside.
mm-hmm.
You know, the real church is.
Well, I think that's kind of the tie that binds all of the disparate opponents of this thing of ours.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're radical modern two kingdoms people, whether they're like pro, or whether they're like boomercon reconstructionists,
Mm-hmm.
or whether they are Russell Moore and David French types. I mean, and all those groups hate each other.
Yeah.
But the thing that binds them together is that
I'm trying to find
that particular thing, that exact phrase that
I love this post because this is what I'm getting at. So the same guy, actually, different post. He says, here's how to do. He says Reformed Baptist theology, but let me just say, like, here's how to do, like,
we love our Reformed Baptists.
Yeah,
we?
the 20th century evangelicalism. Let me say, let's say it like that.
I don't want to pick on the Reformed Baptists.
I'm not. I changed it.
Yeah.
Take any
Okay.
biblical category that refers to something objective, visible, or covenantal, and then insert true or truly in front of it. True church, truly saved, true Christian, truly regenerate, truly repentant, true believer, truly. So, like, they take all these categories, and then they throw the word true in it.
They
to
make them
distinguish
subjective.
it. They distinguish it between the material and the real, like he's talking about, and the spiritual meaning of it.
Yeah,
And
because
you see that everywhere.
They make it a subjective thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? An internal subjective. Are you truly regenerate? Are you truly saved? Are you truly a Christian? Is it a true church? And rather than an objective fact, right? That why are you a Christian? You're baptized, right? You belong to the covenant. And are you truly saved? Well, have you been excommunicated? Right? They're like, as the church looked at your fruit and said, no, you're not. That are you objectively part of the covenant? Are you objectively breaking the covenant? Right? Like, these are objective things, and not subjective.
Yeah.
Right. Does your church confess the Nicene Creed? Does it confess the gospel? Right? Does it believe that the Bible is inerrant? Right. That's an objective, like, it's a yes or no.
Yeah.
Right. It's not how do you feel inside about this. It's not this like sliding scale, because that's always what it is too. It's like, well, this person's not truly reformed,
right?
And who determines that?
Truly, yeah.
Well, you do, or somebody else does. There's not, and it's based on your own like opinion, right? It's not. There's no objective standard, and so that's part of it. Is like, and that's the thing is, and like all of these same groups, they'll be like, no, like the new covenant's not like the old covenant, right? That's the thing they always go. It's not like the old covenant. I'm like, well, in what ways? And like, rather than looking at the old covenant as a shadow and a type of the new, where everything is completely opened up, they'll like minimize even what was there in the old covenant, right? They'll be like, well, God, for whatever reason, we don't really know exactly why, he gave all these laws and rules to Israel, and he gave them political order and kings and priests and things like that. And don't you try to do that in the new covenant. Don't you try to have any kind of political order in the new covenant, because that's bad. Right. Because Christianity is an internal, personal, private religion. Mm-hmm. Right. There's no public import
timeless,
to it.
Spiritual and individual.
Yeah. There's no public, tangible thing. It's just, it makes it Gnostic. I use the GN word again, but Uh,
All right, let's keep going.
what we
We're
should
gonna
do
be
the
here.
ad first. We have some ads. We got Farmer Bills.
All right. Well, we also have 20.
I know we got a lot to get
Sections.
to, but we got
All
we're
right,
going
play the
45
ad.
minutes. We got to play the ad
Play the ad. Oh,
right there. Yep, right there. Click it.
Someone go. Who, me?
Mhm.
Then you have to cut us out.
Real strength starts with honoring God's creation. Mount Athos Performance crafts pure, nutrient-dense products from their family farm to your home using goat milk protein and mineral-rich ingredients without chemicals or shortcuts. Every formula reflects their commitment to faith, purity, and strength. Fuel your pursuit of excellence and get 20% off your order at athosperform.com when you use code NCP20.
If you're like me, you grew up on beef jerky. It was a must-have for any road trip. But most beef jerky is loaded with sugar, soy, and nitrates. Ew. Farmer Bills is a Christian-owned meat snacks company in South Dakota that offers pasture-raised meat snacks. They make biltong. It's like beef jerky, but air-dried with clean ingredients and way better. The pre-sliced biltong is perfect for protein on the go, and the slab is great for snacking or hosting a party. It's like a large, dry-aged ribeye with perfect marbling of fat.
Go to farmerbillsprovisions.com or click the link in the description below and use code CONTRA to save 20% off your order today.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
Summer's Pet Treats makes all-natural dog treats using high-quality, human-grade ingredients.
Every ingredient is carefully selected for a specific nutritional value, which means they're healthy.
Ben, are you eating the treat?
Yeah, dude, I got that dog in me.
I don't think that's what they meant by human-grade ingredients, but hey, if you want to support a Christian-owned business that believes in the Dominion mandate, then go pick up some healthy dog treats at summerspetTreats.com.
And use code NCP10 at checkout. That's summerspetTreats.com and use code NCP10.
Get that dog in you.
All right,
and
go
we're
ahead.
back.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
I always feel bad, especially about the summer. I haven't tried the summer's pet treats because we don't have a pet right now. We don't have a dog right now, and I really want to. I mean, I want to have a dog. I miss having a dog, and
What kind of dog did you have? Did you have a dog up there?
yeah, we had a Brittany Spaniel. It's a good hunting dog.
I always had labs growing up.
I needed a pheasant hunting dog, and he was great. You know what his name was?
No.
Alcibiades.
Yeah.
He was a wonderful dog. I'm gonna start crying. Miss that dog. So I can't, because I like our sponsors. I like trying our stuff.
You can try their stuff.
I mean, I can do
Gary's tried their
I can
stuff.
do Mount Athos. Yeah. Well, Gary's got like 50, like dogs just show up, and he just adopts them. He's got. You at least don't want you to know this, but dogs are free. You could just take as many as you want. But yeah, I love it. And I still haven't tried Mount Athos. Yeah, I need to do that as well.
Come in, close the door. Close the door. I'll
Stay on that side.
Well, I'm gonna
Gary
13.
remove.
this
Close the door
real
all
quick.
the way. Close the door all the way. Otherwise, we'll hear people talking.
All right, I'm gonna remove this, and you're gonna jump.
All right, we're for real back.
All right,
Okay.
let me keep reading. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm
we're never gonna
miss-
get done.
I'm gonna miss my meeting that's in 6 minutes.
It's in 6 minutes. Oh yeah. Whoops.
Typology is often seen as a marginal enterprise, cute but not the stuff of serious biblical scholarship, nor important to the church's mission. Nothing could be further from the truth. Typology is one of the chief weapons in the church's war against Christianity, which is to say, typology is one of the chief weapons in the church's war against secular modernity. Stories define who we are together, and the story of the church is the gospel, which is the whole story of the Bible, which is the story of the Totus Christus. By defining ourselves as New Testament Christians, we are attempting to define ourselves by a small fraction of our story. We have institutionalized amnesia. It is a form of insanity. Is it any wonder we do not know who we are? Contextualization be damned. We have our own story, and if it clashes with the stories we find around us, so much the worse for the other stories. Our story, after all, is big enough to encompass every other.
That's right.
I still like particularism.
Well, I know, but I mean, it is particularistic because it's.
If you absolutize his words, you have to abandon your American heritage.
Yes, of course you do, but
This is
I don't
this
think
is
you.
the little stuff that gets me. But I agree.
I
with his
think
point.
I don't think that the church understanding her whole story, especially understanding the particularism of Israel and its history and its particular context, should clash with the stories of America. Why is it so dark in here all of a sudden? It's dark. It got
Is it a
dark.
setting? Is it a computer setting?
Yeah, we'll roll with it.
Well, I think it's. Oh yeah, it is dark.
We'll roll with it. It's okay. But yeah, I'm okay with it.
All right, let's just keep going.
All right. Neither ancient Greece or Rome produced any myth to rival the universal history found in the Bible, yet Greeks and Romans had their myths, which were of public significance. Myths not only embodied a political and religious vision of the city, but sometimes had direct political consequences. Alexander so identified with Achilles that he set himself the goal of achieving something of his hero status. And Martin Nielsen cites incidents where appeal to myth served as an argument in political dispute. Quote, in ancient Greece, political mythology played the same role in the aspirations of the states to territory as the claims to nationality play in our own century. The influence of politics upon mythology was not small. The great legendary cycles were already established, but they could be altered in detail. And it is in the mythological padding, the genealogies, that this remodeling and alteration for political ends is seen most clearly. Athens and Megara both laid claim to Salamis and took the Spartans as their judge. The latter assigned the island to Athens because the catalog of ships in the Iliad makes Aias place his ship alongside those of the Athenians. Solon is said to have pointed out that to the judges that the sons of Aias, Phileos, and Eurysakes had obtained Athenian rights of citizenship and lived at Brauron and Milete. It is significant to the Megarians, in order to refute the arguments of the Athenians, afterward declared that Solon or Pisistratus had interpolated the said verses into the Iliad. Right, so the Iliad was the defining, like they went back to the Iliad to determine these things. Plato, so end quote. Plato recognized the civic importance of myths, so much so that he wanted to exclude the poets from his ideal city because they gave false testimony concerning the gods. Roman mythology, for its part, centered not so much on the gods and goddesses of traditional myth, but on the origins and destiny of Rome itself. The Roman Empire presented itself as an imperial polis, and as such had its imperial mythology. Decades before Jesus, Rome had already announced that a messianic emperor had introduced a new golden age. Augustus was hailed as a divine figure for saving the Roman Republic from chaos. According to Ovid, or Ovid, do you say Ovid?
I say Ovid.
Okay. Augustus alone has a name kindred to the highest Jupiter. August, call our fathers what is holy. August are called the temples that are duly consecrated by the hand of the priests. And under the auspices of the gods, with the same omen as his father, may the heir of so great a surname take upon himself the burden of ruling the world. Horace proclaimed in his Carmen Seculare that the empire had restored the virtues of ancient Rome. Now faith, peace, honor, old-fashioned shame, and valor, which have been neglected, dare to return. Dieter Georgi summarized Horace's poem as follows. The Carmen Seculare celebrates the miracle which occurred, the salvation of the Republic. The impossible had happened. The hope expressed in the Carmen is miraculous, no doubt, but present, indeed fulfilled. The confidence about the realization of what had been desperately expected before is concrete, and the materialism of the expectation indicates the degree of reality. There are many eschatological themes: the eschatological nature of the Erzeit Endzeit, the ideal of a miraculous return of the golden age in paradise, and even the ideal of the eschatological savior in line with the heroes of old. Virgil could likewise write of the Roman Empire as the imperium sine fine, the empire without end, the last monarchy, the eschatological order of things. When the church began to announce its gospel, the gospel of an inaugurated golden age had been in the air for some time. Christians challenged every claim by the imperial eschatology. Augustus, they said, is not the eschatological king. Jesus is. Rome is not the final empire and order of humanity. The church is. There is one august king, but he is not the nephew of Julius Caesar. He is the son of God and of Mary. At the heart of the counter-imperial gospel of Jesus is the story of the cross. Crucifixion was a common punishment for Jewish rebels, a form of execution so horrible that it was never mentioned in polite society. Yet, in the face of this, Paul gloried in the crucified Messiah and saw the crucifixion as a revelation of the character of the rulers of this world. In 1 Corinthians 2, 6 through 16, he wrote that the rulers of this age crucified the Lord of glory in ignorance, and this manifested their folly. According to Paul's description in Colossians 2, 13 to 15, through the cross, Jesus stripped, displayed, and triumphed over rulers and authorities. Verse 15. As N.T. Wright points out, the language suggests the actions associated with the crucifixion. Empirically, the victim Jesus was stripped, made a public display, and triumphed over. In reality, Jesus' crucifixion had exactly the opposite significance. When the Roman soldiers were stripping Jesus, they were in fact being exposed. When the Jews made a public display of their contempt for Jesus, they were in fact being held up for public mockery. When they thought they were triumphing over Jesus, Jesus was in fact triumphing over them. To exult in a crucified Messiah had radical political implications. Every time Paul said that the criminal on the Roman cross was Lord and Christ, he was implying that the empire was in the grip of some enormity of wickedness and folly. Every time he announced that the crucified Jesus had been vindicated by his Father in the resurrection, he implied that the Roman courts were unjust in the sight of heaven. Every time he proclaimed the story of the crucified God-man, he was posing a direct challenge to the mythology of Rome. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So his main point here is that what is stunning about Christianity is it was born in a soil of all of these, like, not national, but these contextualized mythos, right? You had the Babylonian mythos, the Persian experience, Rome, all these things that they told the story about themselves. And the whole story of Christianity was like a counter narrative.
Yeah.
It said all those things rise and
it's all very
fell,
public.
And then there's a universal version of them.
Yes.
And Christ is the final conqueror of everything.
All of it. Yes.
All of it.
Yeah. And that it isn't just this personal, private thing.
And that's the gospel. The gospel is not this individual decision that you make.
It's over everything.
The gospel, the good news is that the entire world has been inherited by an emperor, a world emperor.
Yeah. Yeah. That Jesus is king over everything. That's like when you get into the question of Christian nationalism and things like that, what is it that we're confessing? It's not that like we're gonna force everyone to become Christians. We're gonna force them to do. We're gonna pose everything on everybody. It's that Jesus is already king.
Yeah,
he already is the ruler over the earth, and you will submit to him. That will happen, right? We're not gonna make it happen, right? We're not gonna go send an army out and point guns at people and make them do it. It is that he already is the king. He is in control of everything, and he will make it happen. He has made it happen in the past, and he will make it happen again. Right? That's what we're confessing. It's not up to us. Right? We're not imposing anything. He already is king. Right? Whether you submit to him or you should submit to him. It'll go well for you if you do, because if you don't, bad stuff is going to happen.
Right?
Right? That's what we are saying.
Jesus is not on the ballot.
Yeah,
it's already happened.
You're not voting for him or not. Like, he already is king, whether you want him to be or not. So let's do 26, and that's probably all the time we have, right? All right. Well, we might not have any more time at all. I'll read fast. The dominant story of America and the modern West. Here, plug it in. I have a cord right here. Hold on. Stay right there. Hold on.
There.
You just doxed yourself. Right? Gary 13 is one of my children.
Oh.
Shh. Quiet now. You're supposed to be quiet. That was the rule. Now you're not
All
getting
right.
paid.
The dominant story of America and the modern West is the liberal democratic narrative, which sees history as a struggle between the forces of enlightenment and tolerance on the one hand, and the forces of ignorance and bigotry on the other. It is a hopeful story of progress toward liberty, autonomy, diversity, and pluralism. It is a comedy of man's liberation from the irrational traditions that have bound him for centuries. As Alistair McIntyre has argued, liberal democracy claims to liberate individuals from all tradition, leaving every member of society free to live according to whatever concept of the good he finds pleasing, to live out whatever narrative he can conceive. It is of the essence of democracy's story to have no one story. Richard Rorty is fully in keeping with this viewpoint when he claims that only madmen have a single purpose in life, such as seeking the glory of God, which makes Rorty far less radical than he would like to pretend. In fact, McIntyre continues, liberal democracy does have its own overriding story and its own overarching purpose. Despite its claim to liberate from tradition, liberalism is itself a tradition and has a particular vision of the good society. For liberal order, the good is to preserve individual choice. Liberalism's story of tolerance and pluralism in practice prevents other stories from laying claim to the public square. Everyone is free to choose whatever story or concept of existence that will lend meaning to his personal life. But the rub comes when you ask, what if my concept of existence requires that the whole society be conformed to my concept of existence? Clearly, on liberal principles, no one has the right to adopt that concept of existence.
This is a good point to end on, because with the breakdown of liberalism, right, that's happening. Right, 2020 was an inflection point of liberalism breaking down, because the left, right, wokeness, whatever, is saying my concept of existence requires the whole society to be conformed to my concept of existence. Whether you're talking about the 1619 project, whether you're talking about men who dress as women, whether you're talking about right any left-wing stuff, right, the illiberal left, and so liberalism is breaking, because if that's the one thing you could choose, because it's like what Supreme Court decision was that
Where you can define your own existence.
Was it Souter that said that? Which one said? I can't remember which justice said that, but it's like the whole point of America is being able to define your own existence and who you are and what you want. And it was one of it was like the Connecticut one, right? No, it was Planned Parenthood versus Casey. That was
it was in there.
Okay, it was in that one. And the one that reaffirmed Roe versus Wade. And I think that was the majority opinion, that it said that. And it's like, oh wow. I mean, they just said it out loud, that's what liberalism is, right? It's your pick your own adventure, right? You could be anything you want to be, right? You're all going to grow up to be president of the United States one day, right? That's what liberalism is. You can be whatever you want to be. And of course that's nonsense. It's absurd. You are what you are, right? You can improve what you are, but you can't be anything you want to be, right? I'm never going to be able to dunk a basketball. That's just not going to happen, right? I got kind of close when I was in high school, and a lot smaller than I was now, but I still could only get like 2 digits on the rim. You know, you need to get the whole hand in there, and I was never going to have a vertical like that. I was never going to be in the NBA. It wasn't going to happen. I can't be whatever I want to be, contra, the U.S. Army, or that's be all you can be, whatever. Doesn't matter, right? The point is, that's the sine qua non of liberalism, that you can be whatever you want to be. And 2020, the left said, no, my concept of existence requires you to change.
Yeah,
it requires all of society to change to conform to me. And the reaction, right? There's 2 reactions that have happened to that. One is like the anti-woke liberal, which says, no, let's put everything back in Pandora's box and go back to like 2014. And the so-called woke right, has said, no, the fiction of liberalism is dying, and we should have a society that is well ordered, where there is where we don't put up with crime and disorder and antisocial behavior, and stamping those things out means telling some people, guess what? You don't get to be whatever you want, right? You don't get to smoke pot all day, right? And order from Uber Eats, right? You actually have to have a productive life, right? Well, you can't tell me that, right? You don't get to do weird perverted sex stuff, right? That's not cool. You don't get to celebrate that in the public square. We're not going to allow that, right? Whoa! It's a free country, man, right? Like that's what like James Lindsay wants, is all the potheads, all the weird perverted sex freaks out in the open. Like that's great. Like David French too, right? Drag Queen Story Hour is the essence of liberty, right? That's what they want. That they want those things. And the illiberal right says, no, we actually want a healthy society that is a good place for families and for children, for people to grow up in. We want a society that everyone can work hard and have a good life. Like, is that so bad to want those things? And in order to have those things, you got to be able to tell people no. Right? You got to be able to tell people no. You can't do what you want. Right? We're going to have order. And that's the crux of a lot of, and in the same way, right? The like true biblical Christianity tells people, right? Well, your society has to actually conform to what Jesus says it needs to be. Sorry, it's the way it is. And the anti-woke liberal, like that's nails on the chalkboard to them. They don't want that, but that's what's happening, right? You're either going to get like liberalism, like you're not going to be able to keep the rickety house of cards of liberalism going forever. It's falling apart because it created what we have today, right? It like 2020 and wokeness and everything else is the logical conclusion of liberalism. And either you put the Humpty Dumpty of society of a well-ordered, productive, healthy society back together, or you let everything completely collapse into chaos and disorder.
So I mean, and yeah, so just to put a cap on that, basically the point is to replace the crisis of liberalism, you need a counter narrative.
Yes,
and the counter narrative
or a myth.
Counter narrative is the same thing.
The myth.
It is the myth, and that mythos has to be the Christian one. Otherwise, we're going to get the same chaos.
That's right. So well said.
Good.
All right. Anything else? We didn't get to too many comments today. We have more comments. Go to the comments. All right. I can barely read. I can't see. I'm like CJ. I can barely see the thing today. I need my glasses. All right.
Yeah, there's not really any questions.
No questions there. Okay. Sweet.
How do you do the end thing? Oh, outro. Okay.
Yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful, awesome weekend. I think, are we gonna be back Monday? We're gonna live stream this Monday.
Maybe we'll talk about.
We're
gonna shift this to.
We'll let you know
in the week.
Well, yeah, early in the week is better because by the end of the week we're old, man. We get tired.
Also,
so tired, boss.
I want to hang out with my kids.
Yeah,
Friday afternoon.
That's right. Go sweat outside a little bit. I'm gonna go in the air conditioning.
I'll handle the closing.
All right, you handle the closing. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll be back on chapter 2. We got a little bit left to check. Maybe chapter 3. We'll see. Next time. I hope you have a wonderful, awesome weekend and stay peacefully dangerous. And we'll see you next time.